know that means he's back in jail after revoking his parole. Uh, the look on his face at the end of this hearing really stuck out to me. So with that, let's jump in. Please do like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm a lot.
Today is Orleans Parish. Sir, with staff, would you introduce yourself, state your name?
Okay, my name is Deputy C. Tate, and I have with me two gentlemen, Mr. Randall Mark and Mr. Dustin Winsney.
I see Mr. Winsney on the docket. You got this other fellow?
His attorney, he's been
Okay, per his attorney, he's been rescheduled, not Mr. Winsney, but the other.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, we're ready for our first case, Mr. Winsney. All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
My name is Dustin Westney. My DOC number is 540320.
All right, Dustin, you heard the introduction. We have a parole revocation hearing. We'll read some charges. You'll plead guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement. We'll ask you some questions. You can respond. At the end, you can make a statement. We'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
All right, Dustin Wesney, DOC number 540320. Now, do you have a parole revocation questionnaire in front of you?
Yes.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, can you read and write?
Yes, sir.
All right. Dustin Wesney, DOC number 540320. Rule number 3. After you were released from Orleans Justice Center, you did not make contact with agents, nor did you provide current living situation. How do you plead?
Guilty with a statement.
Okay, guilty with a statement. Number 4, you were booked in Orleans Justice Center 3/25/2022 and charged with battery upon a dating partner. You were charged with domestic abuse battery, but pled to disturbing the peace on 6/2/2022. A stay away order was put in place for 1 year. How do you plead?
I plead guilty to the disturbing the peace.
All right, go ahead and make your statement.
All right. As far as my release went, I my living situation wasn't right, and I was homeless for almost 3 weeks. When I finally did establish an address, I was scared and didn't know what to do at that point. And I was only out for 6 weeks, or 7 weeks, I believe. And that's not an excuse, but I am sorry for making that mistake. I've been in here for 6 months reflecting on that, and I have made a plan. I've signed up with the Metropolitan, and I got a list of human resources. I got an established address. I got everything I need to do to get in line if I can get another chance. Like I said, if I am granted that, I can just say that I will make sure that I stay in full compliance with my parole.
All right, tell me about number 4. Tell me what happened. Go ahead and tell me what happened. I get it that the charges were dropped, and I get it that you fled the police.
My ex-roommate, Mr. David Dowhan, he got an argument. I was over there picking up some of my stuff from where I lived there before, and he told me to leave. We had a little altercation. We're wrestling over a phone. He called the cops. I stayed there till they got there. But like I said, he didn't want to pursue charges or anything but he got a little scratch on his arm for we was wrestling over the phone. And like I said, it wasn't nothing serious. I shouldn't have wrestled around with him over the phone. But I'm sorry for that. I don't have no violent history. I'm not a violent person, and I'm just, like I said, I'll do everything in my power to do the right thing. And I'm willing to, even though I got an address when I got out, I still am going to take all these. I got this community resources for First 72, Metropolitan, Unity, Salvation Army, Travelers Aid, and all them. And like I said, I signed up already for the Metropolitan Human Services, and they're willing to help me upon my release if I get out.
Sounds like you got some stuff together. Yeah. All
Where is Rich Watson this morning?
You just have all those names. You're just trying to, you're going to try to reach out to some of them, is what you're saying.
Well, no, I'm signed up to Metropolitan. I signed up to that in here. They come here and they say, and I signed up for it in here, the Metropolitan Human Services. It says they do mental health assistance, addiction, behavioral health, developmental, intellectual disabilities, and peer support. And the first 72, which is directly across the street, they help with meals, housing, clothing, and employment. Which, like, I already have housing. I got an address, 719 Esplanade Avenue, apartment 3. But I would do the employment help from them, you know, because they told me if I come over there, they could help me out with employment.
All right. Go ahead and make a statement on your behalf.
It's for like I said, but it's just like I said. I mean, as far as what the statement for what?
I don't know why you want us to let you out. You're guilty to both of these.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm guilty of both of the. Like I haven't. Like I said, the first time when I got out of prison, the first time I sat in jail for 5 months on a charge I never did. The charge got dropped. That was really like my only tech. And I ain't really had a chance. When I got out this last time, I was only out for 6 weeks. I didn't really get a chance to establish anything. But now I got everything lined up to help me. And like I said, only thing I can do is say that I'm sorry for the mistakes I made. And that I can assure you that I will do everything in my power to stay in compliance with my parole and do the right thing when I get out, because I've been sitting here for 6 months reflecting on the mistake I made. And in this jail, it's really rough. I mean, 6 months in here, you don't get, yard time, you don't get anything. And it's, I had time to, like, something little small like that, wrestling around, arguing over a phone to get me in a position like this it's not worth my freedom.
You're right. You wish you'd have thought about that at the time. Are you able to take any classes in there? Any type of, they offer no classes in there for you?
Just the Metropolitan is the only service that they got. They come like every couple weeks, and then we have like a little hour get together. And I went to a few of the little AA meetings and stuff they had in here, but I mean, I didn't, like, when I got out the last time, I didn't have any trouble with drugs. That wasn't the problem. Like I said, I was just without an address for 3 weeks. And that, like I said, as far as the altercation went with the disturbing the peace, I just went over there and to get some of my stuff, and we had a little argument, pressed around over the phone, and that's what that was about. But like I said, I don't have no intentions on ever even contacting that person. I got it.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. Sounds good.
I got one question.
We got Mr. Parole.
Dustin, you got out of parole. You got out of parole June 1st of 2021. Is that correct?
2021, yes.
Okay. I want you to know that the officer did not write for a warrant until March of 2022. So from June to March, the officer was still trying to find you, still trying to give you a chance to come in. Those resources that you are looking for, they are at the probation and parole office. You are hiding from the office that had the help you need.
They have them, and they have all that there at the parole office. And the other thing, I just want to clarify this too.
Stop talking.
All right, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
For me, it's important that you know that when you were running from your officer was still giving you space to try to find you, to try to connect with you. I just want you to know that. So if you're going to get out again, I just want to encourage you to go in. Because the officer,
I'm going to do everything.
Listen, the officer didn't get a warrant until March. So from June to March, there was no warrant out for you. And you were running.
And then
Just sit with that. Just sit with that fact.
Yes,
from
ma'am.
June to March. March is when the warrant was requested from the parole board from your officer. That's all I want you to know. That's all I had.
All right, thank you. All right, panel prepared to vote. I'll vote first. you're right. You know, that's pretty significant. You need to sit and reflect and figure out what you can do. I vote to revoke your parole, find you guilty to Rule 3 and 4. Mr. Roche?
Mr. Councilman, I vote the same, violation of Rule 3 and 4.
Ms. Wise?
My vote is the same.
All right,
That's what she said.
9:04, we'll adjourn at Orleans. Good luck to you.
So what happened?
Oh man, it's the ending that I think kind of defines this entire hearing. I can't help but feeling bad for the guy, but at the same time, I don't, because it's like, you know, we all know someone like this in our lives, right? I'm trying to pull that up. He's like, I'm not a violent person. You have two items on your record, and yet you pleaded to disturbing the peace, but it was for like domestic abuse on your girlfriend, and then your roommate. It's like, dude, I don't know what he was initially sentenced for, but you're out on parole. What are you getting into fights where cops are called? It's like, how this has got to be rock bottom. If this isn't rock bottom for you, man, I mean, how many times can you find yourself in a situation where you're sitting at a desk, your hands are cuffed, you got this wrinkly old paper that you're basically hugging for dear life, pleading with the board, and then he's just like in complete shock when it was denied. He's looking around and there's this empty room. The screen opposite him goes black. And then you just got to serve out the rest of your term. And it's like, man, do yourself a favor when you get out next time. Like Miss Wise said, he was saying he was homeless and he was afraid. He had months without any repercussion just to reach out. You know, but with that, I'll let you go.